What's up, guys? Welcome to Only Film Fans, where two film buffs get into the thick of their favourite movies. Do you think that cinema prepares society or the world, whoever watches it, to... Do you think it prepares them for what's to come? It sort of simulates a reality and then sort of prepares a populace for what could happen in the future.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that do believe in that type of thing. I don't know whether it's like really like conspiracy theory or not, but if it has like merit to it, it's hard to really call it a conspiracy theory. Uh, like I've seen throughout history, really, like this happened very often of that the movies kind of not necessarily like I don't want to say they put an agenda out to you, but it's kind of like they just kind of like coddle you into certain ideas. Like, say, for example, I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent straight away, and we'll go into it properly in a
It's
little
a
bit.
deep subject here, but yeah.
But the funny thing is, it's like, well, here's one thing that I like. When people ask me this question, I always put it down to, I say, what does an alien look like? And nine
Yeah.
out of 10 people will say, talk about the alien grey with like the bigger head and the black eyes and the slit mouth.
Mm.
And that is all purely down to what movies have depicted it by for years. And we've been so like we've been fed those images so many times throughout so many different movies that we're normal to seeing it now. So perhaps the day that the person does kind of see these things, they don't necessarily shit themselves, if that makes sense, or like
Yeah,
go insane.
that's like a theory or a concept that I've seen floated around a few times. I'm not entirely sure who's responsible for it. I don't want to give someone credit when it's not due, but someone has said this and spoken about it on like a podcast or something before, and it makes sense. You sort of
Yeah.
condition a populace to sort of, if we saw an alien now, say for example we didn't watch any TV or movies or anything. We lived in the middle of nowhere, and it's sort of like not a Mormon, like a Amish person, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Completely
yeah.
disconnected. And you see an alien in the woods, you're gonna think, what the fuck is that
You
thing?
you could, due to not seeing anything like that even on a screen, you could potentially like have a heart attack or like
Yeah,
pass out at least.
you could die. Yeah,
Like
You will get pregnant and die.
uh yeah, I mean, I think uh, personally, I just think like this topic is just a very clear cut question of a yes or no answer, really. Like we're going a long-winded way about it. I mean, if you stop me and say, do you think movies like put these preconditioned thoughts into people to like either use it through propaganda or use it to like an agenda, like I said before, I'll say yeah, it's 100% they do that. Why they do it, I do not 100% know. Obviously, then to get an agenda going.
that's the theory. That's where the theories come into it, and why people sort of do the whole
Yeah,
conspiracy theory thing, where it's like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, but it always
yeah,
starts somewhere. Like a theory isn't always proven just quite yet, but you're using like evidence, or you're using patterns from the past
mm,
to sort of come up with this theory. You wouldn't come along and say, hey, look, I got this theory.
yeah,
I think that pigs can fly. Okay, why do you
yeah,
think that?
yeah.
You have no grounds to sort of think that. Whereas in this
Mm.
situation, yeah, it becomes a theory, but
Well,
it's
we learned throughout World War II they used propaganda massively throughout movies and like TV shows and news articles and
yeah,
posters to push their way. Like, so if you're talking about it on that end, like end of the spec, like obviously how I said, like, do you think like Hollywood or these media companies are making these movies to like put information? Like, it's kind of like, are they putting the information out to people, or are they just trying to put their agenda out to people? Like I said before, but
I
it's
think
like,
it's that. Yeah,
but it's one of those things though, because on the same hand, you have some movies like Star Wars
mm.
that are basically telling a story which is pretty much on the Emerald tablets.
Oh, Billy Carson.
Oh yeah, Billy. If you know about Billy Carson or have read the book, you will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's just a
Obviously, if you
major
don't know,
advocate for it.
yeah, if you don't know about emerald tablets, probably give it a search because it's not worth me going into right now.
It's
But
too
like they're
deep and
the
it's not movie
oldest.
related.
Yeah, it's like some of the oldest. Well, this kind of is with it because it is basically what they say in those emerald tablets. They talk about a galactic space war, and it pretty much does depict what happens in Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
They even mention in them about having these type of Death Star like thing. I can't remember the exact name of them, but they have Death Stars like planet destroyers
Mm.
in these things. And people say like, so it kind of works the other way around of like they're telling stories throughout media that we don't necessarily hear every day or has been taken away from history.
Yeah.
But
And
then,
that's
as I
yeah.
said,
Sorry.
like,
Sorry.
go, no, you go, you go.
No, but that's what's interesting because like um I think this. I'm only going to touch on it, but we'll get into it a little bit later. But it's like it is conditioning us to. It is the stories of the Emerald tablets and whatnot. But then there's other things too. Like you look at the films like Avatar, sorry, that are on the same sort of vein of Star Wars, of being this like real mythical world and whatnot. But in some ways, you're thinking like, are they conditioning us based on like the Neuralink that Elon Musk is?
Yeah, okay,
You know,
that's quite cool.
building. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, that's it. Well, yeah, because like, all right, so beforehand, right, you got these. Imagine like we didn't know it exactly like you just said. We don't know the idea of Avatar,
yeah,
and then before that, they're saying, and now like those movies don't exist, and now this guy Elon Musk is trying to bring out something that says about putting chips into your head and other people can control you. Everyone freaks out. Now, 50% of those people think Avatar.
yeah, because you go, oh,
You
like
understand?
Avatar.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So they're like, oh, I get that. It's like Avatar.
And
Like, yeah, I get that.
and another quick one too, is like you see online like new tech that will come out and whatever, and you'll see this flaw for like VR gaming, which constantly like moves, is omnidirectional, and then you go, oh, like Ready Player
Yeah.
One, and you're like,
Oh yeah,
oh,
like Ready Player One, or even before that. Again, I don't know if you're like I don't know. I know you're not too into Star Trek, but your dad might have been. I don't think he is too much into sci-fi, if I remember right.
no, he
But
is, yeah, massive
yeah.
nerd,
So he's a Star Trek
and
buff, or
Stargate and
not?
all of those crazy
Oh,
things.
or Stargate's awesome. That's a whole nother conversation. But
Yeah,
we can kind of go into it with this briefly, I guess. But with Star Trek, I mean, growing up, we were young kids. My dad was a young kid, and they had things like iPads and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? They had the
yeah,
like
yeah. They
FaceTime
did.
and things
Yeah.
like that, and it's like so. Again, like if that had just come out and it wasn't depicted in these movies before, like yeah, people would probably freak out a bit of the technology, and it makes them a bit more like I can't think of the word. It's like
Oh,
conditioned into
eased.
seeing this stuff. Yeah,
Like
they're
they're
like eased
eased
into it.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're definitely eased into it. I mean,
I think they use like a phrase like coaxed, where you're sort of like, come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
like
That,
we're
that's
go,
that's
yeah.
what I was trying. That's what I was trying to think of, but I don't want to throw too much shade at these filmmakers because I don't know whether they're trying to do it for our benefit or they're trying to do it to like again to push their agenda.
Well, then that leads
Could they
into
like say for example, like I don't know James Cameron personally. I don't know who exactly wrote Terminator personally, but
mm,
they're telling us about if you keep trusting into these machines and that eventually these machines are going to take over and kill you. That's not them trying to push robots onto us. It's really the opposite. So
it's
like,
yeah, it's
so
the
like,
fear that it can
are
get out of
yeah.
hand.
So are they trying to help? Is it, or am I looking too much into it? And it's like, no, these movie producers are just like, make this fucking film we want you to make.
Well, then it kind of makes you think about like the days of Skynet, because like when you looked at Skynet, I think it was in the, Terminator 3, was it? Was it Terminator 3?
Skynet was in all of the movies. It was
Yeah,
shown in
but
what exactly?
you know,
Are you
when it
talking about
was,
the actual like building of
yeah,
Skynet?
but it was like there was like this doomsday moment where they're inside the building where Skynet is, and they're trying to shut it off,
Oh,
but they
that's number
can't.
that's number three. Yeah, that's number three.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I thought so. I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
it.
It is inevitable.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but
But that there kind of like the date that concept of Skynet kind of reminds you of OpenAI. It kind of reminds
mm,
you of the fact that they're building these AI machines, or AI. I don't know if you call them machines. Listen, I'm not a super tech guy, but they're building these, AIs to. They're
Well,
constantly siphoning from the internet to build personalities that maybe one day it does lead to the concept of Skynet, like in Terminator 3.
all right.
Not,
So here's my beef with what you said. I agree with mostly what you just said, yeah, but I do not agree about artificial intelligence. We don't have artificial intelligence. We still have computer intelligence. Artificial intelligence is mean when this computer is thinking for itself. Everything inside AI has been humanly put into it and generated.
yeah, it's built by
So it
our
isn't
source
AI
material.
yet. Yeah,
I
so
see
it
what you
isn't
mean.
AI yet. It is still, and like it is a buzzword for nowadays. It is just that
It's a good
buzzword
way
that
to
everyone's
sell
fucking
something.
using.
Yeah,
Oh, of course it is,
it's
because
like
no, because
cryptocurrencies.
like,
Remember?
like no, like I heard the best one the other day, and I'm not gonna mention names for the safety of people out there, but someone was doing a type of business when it's coming into like rental of properties.
Yeah,
But he like doesn't necessarily own the business. He's like looking after and doing it for someone else. Blah 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 blah.
sort of like a
But he
management
said to
company.
this person, he said to the person who he was explaining this business to, "Oh, everything's being run through AI."
You're an idiot.
What he meant by that was there's cameras up uh, in the apartment or flat wherever it is, and it's done by like obviously like a key code on that, and it's all done for your phone. That's what he meant, and he
Yeah,
still claimed it to be AI, and that's why I get worried about a lot of people hearing and like they're hearing AI as a buzzword and they're just running with it when in reality there is no artificial intelligence. This world barely has human intelligence.
yeah.
So, like,
It's true when you see like there's a massive proportion of the United States that have an IQ lower than 85.
yeah,
Then
and that's why they're saying that that's why they're saying the computer that is spouting out basically like a random generator we have had for fucking donkey's
well, you
years.
had bots
We've
and
had
you
this
had
stuff.
we've had bots
Bro, like,
before.
this is what I'm saying. Like, I said, like, remember, like, bro, we was playing football club the other day, and
Yeah,
you kept saying, "Oh, that this AI like for the player," and I was thinking, bro, this is the same comp we've had since 2004, bro.
yeah, 100%.
Like,
But
these are
that's what they
fucking
called it
comps.
then.
Like,
That's what they
yeah, I
called
know.
it
And now
then.
it's just now they just changed like his fucking name, like they changed his identity to AI.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
bro, you're a fucking comp.
But
Like,
the thing is, yeah, is that they used to call it AI back then too, and it was just a case of like, okay, that this particular computer player can think for itself within the context of the game, right? It's not
yeah,
going to turn around and go, oh, I don't like the manager. It like there's
yeah,
parameters it's got to sort of fulfill in order to turn around and maybe generate something like like you're playing career mode and he comes into your office and says like, I'm not really enjoying my football right now, but it's
yeah,
based on parameters that you have sort of like you're progressing through the game. So
exactly.
it's not just a guy that goes, my wife's unhappy at the moment. Like it doesn't
Yeah, yeah,
work
yeah.
that way. Um,
Sorry, fellas, my wife wants a divorce.
Hey, fellas, it's gonna be a minimum. It's my wife. She wants a divorce.
but that's the thing. That's the thing is like that particular example that you just gave, yeah, of that guy that says, "Oh, it's run by AI." It is a buzz term to make things sound more complicated than they are, and a lot
Yeah.
of people in society, no, I shouldn't say that. People in society, people in sales, always use
Yeah.
terminology in order to confuse you, so that you feel inferior to purchasing the product. So, say for
Yeah.
example, you're buying a piece of tech, someone will come to you and not know, like say you're an older gentleman, you're probably 40, 50 and you're not too tech savvy or whatever, and you go speak to one of those Apple nerds, those Apple geeks, and they turn around and go, oh yeah, basically the GPU on this and it is intertwined with the CPU, and basically the motherboard will allow you
Yeah.
to, and you're like, excuse me.
Yeah, they've already lost me.
You see what I'm saying?
I
So
mean,
then you're like,
yeah,
what does that mean? So then
yeah,
now you've got idiots that were. If you've ever seen the film The Big Short, yeah, there's these two guys
yeah,
that are basically we're just selling subprime mortgages, bro, and we're getting yachts in Miami, bro. Like those guys,
yeah,
right? They're the type of guys that don't that as thick as two shits and will turn around to you and go, "Oh, this new technology is amazing because it uses AI to benefit your life." And
yeah. It's just so simple to say.
it's basically a name generator. You know, like Childish
Yeah.
Gambino made his whole rap career based on a rap name generator. That was an AI.
Yeah.
Not his whole career, but you get what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
like what his name is. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't buy it. But then we go back to like films, and we look at sort of what films do to sort of condition us in that way. I think that it leads to the massive point that not it's not a conspiracy. It's actually proven that intelligence agencies and defense ministries, like for example the Pentagon, have departments of entertainment in them, and
Yeah.
they fund movies, whether that is to make a film like American Sniper, to sort of change the narrative and the information that comes out of Iraq.
A situation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the situation in the Iraq War.
Or
Because,
when 9/11 happened, I'm pretty sure. Actually, I want to double check this before I say it, but before 9/11, when 9/11 happened, it wasn't long after that the movie World Trade Center with Nicolas Cage came out.
yeah,
But I'm gonna double
yeah,
check on
you
the
double
actual
check it, and I'll
date
say
now.
this. Yeah, no, I'll say this.
Yeah.
But you look at like a film like American Sniper,
Okay,
where
2006, so it was 5 years after.
okay, fair. But you
Yeah.
look at the film American Sniper, right? And it's a good. I can't say it's an amazing film because it isn't, but it's a good film in a sense, like the storyline, right? Of he's a sniper in the Iraq War or whatever, and it does show the ins and outs. It's not just like a glory sort of circle jerk about the American forces in Iraq. Like it does show he goes into like PTSD, and it's very difficult for him to adapt after the war, and it's good in that way. But when you watch that film, you're automatically on the side of the Americans, right? And that's fair. Like whatever, I get it. You know, if you're part
Or
of,
yeah, it makes it as if like they're there to help.
well, they're the heroes
Feel
of the
sorry.
story. Yeah, they're the heroes of the story,
Yeah.
and that's understandable. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say which side was right or wrong, but I do remember watching a podcast / interview with a English sniper that held the world record for the furthest shot. Right? I'm not sure if he still holds it, but he was talking about his experiences in Iraq, and it was very unfiltered. And he was saying basically, I think it wasn't long after he'd arrived there, but he saw oil rig after oil rig or pipelines or whatever with just like chalked on numbers, and he said, "Oh, this is why we're here." Like he realized then and there, this is why we're here, and that's not a conspiracy. But the point I'm arriving at, bit long, I know, sorry, but it's a case of American Sniper did not talk about that one bit. So
No, and they wouldn't for obvious reasons.
so then it's already, you've already seen footage in your head, like you've got memories of this particular war, even though you weren't there, and that's how you know the funding can sort of like coerce you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and there's there are versions of like, obviously for the question, like, do the media like kind of influence people or like kind of like coax them into believing certain things? Then yeah, so far I think we completely proved that point on like so many different levels. I mean, I have another turn. It's a bit more of a comedy movie, but like, do you remember the 2006 movie Idiocracy?
No, you keep telling me to watch this. I still
you
haven't seen it.
gotta watch it because like obviously that was in 2006 and I watched it when it first came out, and just like me, with everyone else, like even I remember my dad watching it going like, this is such a stupid film, like how can you watch this? And literally how the world is in this movie to how it is now is so fucking close. It's unreal. Like I mean, even to the point when they were making the movie and they were going through the costumes and that, the costume designer said, the director said to the costume designer, "Oh, I want a shoe that everyone's going to be wearing in the future. Like, find it as weird and as stupid, like make it as ugly as you possibly find the shittest shoe you could." They brought in back a croc, yeah, and then like, an orange croc. Throughout the movie, you look down, everyone wears crocs throughout the whole movie.
Oh my god!
And they thought it was a joke. They got it for cheap as well because they were such a small brand then.
Yeah.
And it's like there's so much more to that movie as well, like how they're
Well,
all
you could argue
fixated
that's
on it.
Yeezys.
Yeah, like or Crocs themselves, like because
No,
everywhere you go, there's people wearing Crocs.
you know that Yeezy slipper thing that's made out of pure plastic. You've
Oh
ever
yes,
seen that?
I'm not going into that the stupidness of what people wear for fashion.
No, I've
Um,
seen those Mario boots
but
as well, mate. Fuck yeah.
oh yeah, and
Yeah.
then there's a drink in the movie called Mondo, and everyone drinks that instead of water, and they try using their crops on it because apparently it's so much better for you than water, and it's got electrolytes.
So
And it's
Monster.
like literally like, and literally now, if you look on, not on, no, that's like Prime to me.
Oh,
I think it's
or
the
yeah,
Prime
yeah.
crate, and it's like how everyone keeps going on about like electrolytes this or like it's got this type of chemical in it, and it's like, it's literally it's so crazy how much it's going towards there, like of that type of crazy ass world, and it's like, did they put that in these movies back then to kind of show us what the future's going to be? Knows,
I
but
think it's also like predicting trends, because we see this with South
oh
Park
yeah,
all the time, and they're fairly spot on, but they do it in a way where if they're not right, you still laugh, you know, and you still find it
yeah,
funny. But when they are right, you're like, holy shit, they got that
yeah. Well
right.
then, you could say the same for Simpsons as well. Then they've had
Yeah,
quite a lot of
predictions.
yeah, predictions that have come true.
Yeah.
Whether that be down to just law of averages, I mean, they have so many episodes and
Mm.
only so many ideas. Like this stuff is gonna happen. Like, I was speaking to my brother about this the other day, and he was like, "Don't you find it weird how they predicted that Donald Trump would be coming down the escalator thing?" And I was like, "Well, they do that with every single president. It's kind of like a known thing, so maybe not." And like people for years joked about Donald Trump becoming president or stuff like movies. It
Mm.
was like Alan Sugar of this country and Donald Trump in that country.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, and that's the thing. It kind of leads on to the future, what is currently happening, because all of these like Idiocracy, right, as a film is predicting what we see a lot nowadays,
Well,
right?
well,
And
bro, if movies have taught us anything, it's Doomsday, no? That's where all future movies go.
yeah, but then you
Can
look
you
at
name a future movie that's nice?
no, no, none. No, there's no
There isn't one.
utopia without some sort of
You,
real evil
the
still in it.
only ones that I, what I believe, the only ones that are big are Star Trek,
Yeah,
where everyone's getting along. Everything else is depicted as post-apocalyptic, doomsday on the brink of war or
well, yeah.
distress.
That leads to the two movies that made me sort of think of this question, because although I thought it before, but it's like these two films are very interesting. Like there's one on Netflix called Leave the World Behind, right? And here's a little bit of a synopsis of it, right? So a family vacation on Long Island is interrupted by two strangers bearing news of a blackout. As the threat grows, both families must decide how to best survive the potential crisis, all while grappling with their own place in this collapsing world, right? Now, that film was produced by Barack Obama, right?
What?
The film was produced by Barack Obama, right? So,
Really?
yeah, 100%. It's not a conspiracy theory. His name's on the credits. Now, there's nothing like sinister about that. Like like who better would kind of understand the climate of a society than an ex-president? I mean, there's nothing to say he can't, make a movie or anything. But it's kind of, it's not spooky, or like, it's kind of, what's the word? It's like horroring in some way, where you feel a bit like something in your stomach, that something don't sit right with you, that an ex-president is making a film about a collapsing world in the country he run. And look, I'm not gonna say that he's evil or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that, but maybe the knowledge that he has of politics and maybe just social affairs and whatnot, this is a potential outcome that he does see, and maybe he predicts, and that's scary, not just for the United States, I mean for the world in some ways. And then the second film is Civil War, that's recently come out, and
Yeah.
it's sort of, I could give you another synopsis of Civil War if you want. It's quite quick. In a dystopian future, America, which is usually always the case. It's always dystopian for some reason. A team of military-embedded journalists race against time to reach Washington, D.C. before rebel factions descend upon the White House. So, the film
Sounds like it's sounds like that could happen this year.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, but the film almost goes into race politics, but in a clever way, like, because obviously currently there is race politics, but it's scary to see that these films, if we tie them to the question that we started this with, like, what are they preparing us for? Are they preparing us for what, or like to be conditioned or be okay with it, or like, you know, we've seen this before. Are we looking at Charles Manson's Helter Skelter sort of theory that there will be some form of race war or war amongst civil war or war amongst humans to reach an apocalyptic outcome, which is quite scary?
Well, I don't know about race war, or it's in America anyway, or this country.
I'm just looking at this particular Civil War film and tying the two, but yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, that I'm pretty sure that. I mean, I haven't seen that movie, but I'm guessing the Civil War dispute between them is about liberals or not.
I think it's purely political, and then I think
so
race
it's
does
not
get
going to be
tied
really
in.
down to. Oh, race does get tied into.
Yeah,
I
it
guess.
does.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is it? It's America after all.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't know, man. If it is, if they are preparing us for that, and it's a battle of like the liberals or like left and right side, I think like you know what side's gonna win.
Yeah, unfortunately. I say unfortunately, like as if I've got a side. I mean it in a way where it's like you don't want it to happen in the first place, but it's going to be a very, very unfair war if it was. You got one side. Sorry, go on.
It's a mad one. I mean,
yeah, 100%.
if that is what they're like trying to prepare you for, it is that. But I think on more broader levels, like, I mean, do I think that there's going to be like a civil war in America? No, I don't think it's going to really go to that. But do I think that like a lot of movies do, like, as I say, like coax you into ideas? I'll say yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's an interesting one. It is an interesting one, and I think you could go deeper. I mean, there's plenty of theories, man. Plenty of theories out there.
Oh yeah.
And
there's plenty more movies as well. I mean, Demolition Man, that predicted today's world quite well. As a not too bad, like not too drastic, obviously, but it's still time.
Back to the Future too, to a certain
Back
degree.
to the Future got some stuff right.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the Cubs winning that tournament.
Yeah.
They got that.
Yeah.
They got flying cars was wrong.
Yeah.
Jaws. Was it Jaws 18 or whatever it was wrong?
Yeah. Although,
but
in saying
that, but taking the piss out of, that's what I was saying, taking the piss out of the big movie at the time, constantly being brought out of the new one. So maybe I mean.
Yeah, Fast and Furious could be. You could replace them. Like they got it right to a certain degree that one film would get fucking rinsed.
Fast and Furious could be on number 18 right now for a while now. I stopped watching them. So.
Yeah, the minute they went to Tokyo, and I stopped. I loved it. Don't get me wrong, but I said this is the be all and end all. I'm not watching the rest of this.
You think I'm gonna watch a movie about that? I'm joking.
Yeah. Where was it filmed anyway? North Korea? No, it's set in Tokyo. Oh, okay, so Korea.
Oh dear.
Oh man. Yeah, no, it's an interesting topic, man. It's good. I mean, we weren't exactly like proving anything, like in terms of, you know, we got some new information that we got to prove and whatnot. But it's an interesting topic, and I think that
as I said, there's tons of more movies out there that do the exact same thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Thanks for watching that video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We have a new merch store coming out soon, so please don't forget to check that out, and we'll see you next time.